Greetings, everybody. Oh, and that camera is not even tilted right. Awesome. I love having issues to start off the stream. So, are we gonna be wearing those sunglasses at night, or are we gonna be getting thrashed by Are we gonna be getting thrashed by enemies? Are we gonna be getting thrashed by those? I'm trying to test this. Alright, I think I've got it almost where I want it. Maybe. Maybe. We'll see. So, welcome, everyone. I'm CoinStamp180, otherwise known as Swirling Vortex 09 on YouTube. And, welcome back to an episode... I'm all discombobulated. Welcome back to an episode of Elden Ring Reforged. Trying to get that centered right on me, and it's not exactly easy. How is... I need to try to, like... I had this all figured out, and then... the contractor just had to show up. Anyway, welcome back to another episode of Elden Ring Reforged. Last time, we finished exploring pretty much all of Weeping Peninsula. There are a couple things, just a couple, that we can't really do yet. I need to push this back a little bit away from my... And ideally, I need to put this in a way that it won't move. Maybe this is a good position. Audio is always going to be a little bit of a problem, guys. Just always, just expect it. What was I saying? Right. There are a few things we couldn't do. I'm hoping to try to clarify those later today, or sometime during the stream. For those that are new here, welcome. I'd normally be doing a 4-hour stream today. Because of exigent circumstances regarding the contractor, I am unfortunately forced to curtail it to 3. But don't worry, I will try to make it up on either Sunday or Friday. Especially because track record for Friday streams isn't all that great. Also, because we only have 3 hours, I have no time to waste not doing something productive. So, for those who did not see the tweet, just making sure I didn't get anything important, those who didn't see the tweet won't know that we weren't wearing this gear before. We were wearing chainmail, right? Well, I picked up quite a few collectibles. Don't worry, I didn't activate any dialogue or anything. I just ground up most, if not all, of the keys. All of the stone sword keys. We have, I think there might be 1 or 2 still floating in circulation, but the plan was to definitely make sure we weren't behind on those. Additionally, I went and picked up all spells that weren't related to dialogue. Corin does not have any dialogue on spell purchase, so I just picked all of his up and all of the other spells. I'll kind of discuss which ones are good and which ones aren't. We also picked up, as you can see, I've got a little bit of duplicate gear. We picked up some weapons. I pretty much picked up anything generic that I could. In terms of weapons and armor. And I sold off quite a few duplicates. I still have a few more I need to sell off. But anything that was tied down to a merchant, we bought it. Plain and simple. While we're here, and the reason we're parked here is because we are buying things from Selen.
Shall we commence?
Because Selen does have stuff that is locked behind dialogue. I think we've already exhausted it all, but I held off on buying those items just in case. Don't worry, we'll go over all the spells at some point, but for the time being, I'm trying to move quickly. How's everyone doing today? Other than a surprise contractor who is almost never punctual, and when he is, he's too early, or he leaves multiple times to go retrieve various things, and the job takes long, or the trip takes longer than it's supposed to. I get... my opinion on the matter is this. I don't want to judge the man's circumstances. I'm sure he's raking himself over 2 jobs for a reason. Contract work is probably not one of those things that you can just get do as a side job. If you get big enough and too big for your own britches, you're gonna disappoint clients. Like both myself and my dad are today. If you're a contractor, please be punctual. There's no amount of money in the world that's gonna save a bad review coming your way if you're not punctual. Being early is fine. Being unreasonably early is not fine. Being fashionably late is fine. Being way later, multiple hours later, and you don't have a good reason behind it, like another client, it's unacceptable. But you guys didn't come to hear me rag on and on about how I feel regarding contract work. And I suppose the same could be said for my streams too. I do my best not to be late, but I can't help exigent circumstances from showing up. And he might have had some exigent ones himself. I should be careful, but we're trying to sell duplicates. That's right. But frankly, I'm too small for anyone to really care about. 1. 2, being late to something that's optional is different than being late to something that is mandatory. I am not really getting paid to do any of this. I'm doing it of my own free will. Payment is nice, but it is never required. We paid him to come over and do contract work on the house. And it is not just any kind of contract work, it deals with floors. And failure to have a suitable floor in the house for an extended period of time, especially when there are no transitions between walls, and for a while the trim wasn't even complete, results in actual injury. People actually get hurt over that. That is, or can get hurt over that. Pets, even more likely. Unacceptable. But that is neither here nor there. And I hope that he finds clientele that keep his business flowing. I don't want to say, oh, well, he's not worth any money. Absolutely not. His work is fantastic. He really knows how to put together good construction work, like good woodwork. Solid. The man's skill is phenomenal. And his tact is just timeless. But even so, that lack of punctuality is gonna bite him in the butt. If it hasn't already, it soon will with my dad and myself. We don't plan on doing additional business with him again without a good reason. Like, he had better be the only contract work available, and then we can plan to have the house basically in a pseudo-functional state for about 2 years. I couldn't imagine if we were trying to close up the garage and turn it into my father's free space. I could not imagine having the garage be inoperable for 2 years at a time until it finishes changing state and we don't know what to do with it. But, c'est la vie. I know, and I keep saying it and never really meaning it either, because I keep wanting to talk about it, but that'll be enough of that. Tonight, we're going to be fighting those darn bosses at night so we can level up. If we were to truncate the song phrase there. I hope everyone likes that sort of titling, by the way. I try to be funny with the titles when I can help it. But I also try to be apropos with the titles, which is harder. And there's often conflict among all of those. So, where are we going to start, you might ask? Well, we're going to start where we met our first nighttime boss. And our first nighttime boss is, in fact, the Knights Cavalry. Oh, additionally, one other thing I did, and I forgot to mention it while I was grinding, is I picked up... let me see if I already purchased the... I did. Okay. The one other thing I did was purchase some fortunes and divine them. So now we have access to 5 of them. We have the Fortune of the Paladin, the Sorcerer, the Warlock, the Ranger, and the Wizard. Wizard is for generic intelligence spellcasting. Warlock is for generic faith-based spellcasting. Sorcerer is specialized glintstone casting, where you count the number of spells you cast and then gain a bonus based off of the number of spell casts. I think the fortune says it's 9, and then you get a buff. Ranger is bonuses based on using bows specifically. There's the fortune of the artificer if you use crossbows instead. And fortune of the paladin is specialized hybrid casting based on Golden Order Fire Giant or incantations. Damage you're using a shield. The next thing I want to do in regards to this is let's use our resources. If at any time you guys want to know more about what we're doing or you need a specific resource, maybe you're playing along with me. Great. You can type in, like I plan to, !ERRB, no quotes, and we can pull up the resistance document. And this is a Google Sheets version of what the wiki has, except that it's updated for Elden Ring Reforged. Now, if we look here and see Knights Cavalry, and the horse has a different entry. First off, what's new according to the spreadsheet, since the last time I checked it out, was the defense and poise pieces of information. That is new. That has been data mined for you guys and put on this spreadsheet. Knights Cavalry, the rider, the one we have to kill in order to, defeat the boss, it has a weakness to pierce. A very slight weakness, but it's there. 1.1. That means they'll take 10% more damage from piercing attacks. Not a great deal. Elemental damage, we see that the rider is weak to lightning, about 20% weak. Deals it. That's additional damage dealt. We don't really have access to lightning right now, so that's going to be a problem. At the very least, we might be able to get away with Pierce. Then resistances. If we look at both the cavalry and the horse, there is a difference. The Knight's Cavalry, let me just check these messages here. The Knight's Cavalry is weakest to poison and scarlet rot, which matches up with the experience I've had in base ER. They were pretty weak to it as well. Blood loss and death blight they are more resistant to, but it's not intolerable. And the same with madness and frostbite. The only status that they're immune to is sleep. And for the horse, the same pretty much holds true, but the horse is weak to madness and death blight. About 60 points of resistance, less than average. Most of the time, the resistance is around 240. That's usually the standard number. And the color codes will tell you at a glance what's weak and what's strong, or what is resisted, what is immune, and what is hard but doable. The horse and its master are immune to sleep, which makes sense. Or at the very least, it's not a status effect that the player would really have access to at this time, apart from the sleep jars. I know we're spending a lot of time talking and not enough time fighting, but all in all, we looked at this resource to say, basically, pierce or lightning, and if we could manage it, poison or scarlet rot. The best one to use for this is actually going to be Ranger. Again, we want to be dealing with the element on hand. And that means we more or less get to take... No, I don't want to be removing staves, thank you very much. Did this get a passive I'm not aware of? No. Alright, what did we lose? That's interesting. And equipping a staff somehow get... Oh, I know what it is. It's detecting spells. That's what it's doing. Well, we won't really need any of these, because we don't even intend to use... Get this. We don't even intend to use spells for the fight. Sorry, I've recently exchanged numbers with a classmate, and I'm making sure I'm on the lookout for test messages. Now, luckily, while we don't have any lightning, we can at least poison them. We will have to be careful, though. Oh, and I don't know why we're riding out in the middle of the night, or in the middle of the day. We want it to be nighttime. Otherwise, why are we even doing this, right? Alright, is there anything in our loadout that can help us? Axe on horseback. I don't really want to be... And the answer is no. I don't really want to be attacking on Torrent if I can help it. That's just asking for trouble. We do, however, have to clear the way. And we also just have to straight up be careful. We do have the unfortunate sleep pots, by the way, but we're not going to be able to take or make good advantage of them. Sad, really, but that's how things are. Hopefully our arrows will fly straighter than normal since we are using the Ranger class, and the Ranger class does increase bow range. Okay, let's make 50 of these. We might be able to, with since poison causes a lower status resistance, it is perfectly possible that we'll end up being able to bleed them out easier as well, but we can't really rely on that. Well, we've already met him before and failed, so I'm gonna just get to fighting. See you guys on the other side. Alright, we've got them both poisoned, so now we can maybe... yeah, I'm not gonna really be able to... Yeah, we just can't. We're stuck. I'm making bad gameplay right now. We've got the poison. We are just gonna have to be happy with that. Nice, nice. I don't think we're ever really able to bleed him out. Really? Really? Abhorrent. Terrible. We almost had him. Almost. We basically, wow, I'm, you know the boss got you good when you can't really talk. Just gotta do better. We were a single shot away from victory. Just awful. And this is about the best way I know to keep our arrow supply topped off. Come on, I need the poison. Really? Terrible. I noticed they stopped doing the second swipe as well. That's when you really know that the AI is learning. Nice delayed swipe. Or overhead slash. And trying not to waste arrow fire on the horse if I can help it. Sometimes it can't be helped. That feels like I could duck that. Nice. Got the horse. I know we don't want to be wasting arrows on the horse, but stopping a mid-gallop feels really nice. Well. And our reward for that is a repeating thrust. Great. Absolutely fantastic. We could go ahead and remove that marker. We only really have a couple more of these we need to do. Who am I kidding? We have several. Next up on the list is the Deathrite bird, which, if I remember, they're pretty darn weak to fire. Let's go back into the spreadsheet here. Go to the Death Bird. Okay, we can see that they have immense poise. They're weak to strike rather than anything else. So strike would be like blunt weapons, basically. They're weak to holy. Right, I completely forgot about that. Then, in terms of statuses, we're not going to be able to apply any, which is fine. We'll use our holy stuff to our advantage. Supposedly, we could probably kill them in 3 to 4 shots if we have correct loadouts. We don't, however, and we're going to need to be changing that. Additionally, being in this location... Right. Being in this location in particular is going to help us with the other boss, the bell-bearing hunter. That's who else we gotta face. And we gotta take them out as soon as we possibly can, basically. Have that. Finger seal. With these other two, we should be able to get some spells and... Wow. And we should be able to change out our, the appropriate spells depending on what we need. Since this one's weak to holy, and I'm not trying to select I'm trying to select a fortune, not divine one. We're actually going to switch it up to... Let's see... Divine these again. Elemental defense, equip load, poise, dexterity, and arcane. Our choices are warlock or paladin. And among them... Warlock is most appealing because all incantation damage is increased at least a little. But if we need to, we can switch it up for Paladin at any given point. And then as for our spells, we should only prepare what we need. Which... Because now we're not so concerned with memory slots. We're concerned with preparing for the fight. Discus of Light, Litany of Proper Death. And we need a generator spell. We need at least one generator spell, or we're going to have problems. And the one that we probably need to prepare is Bestial Sling. Interestingly, we do have a way to inflict madness on the Deathrite Bird, or the Death Bird, but we are not ready. It's not really a feasible way to inflict madness. Let's see, how about our Wondrous Physic? We're fine. Alright, we have everything we need. We will now remove the glintstone staff, and instead we will prepare or put into our hand the interesting rapier, the Noble's Blood Estoc. Well, it's the Noble's Estoc. It's the one that we can use given our light dex and strength, but we at least have a weapon to choose from. We're also going to reset this to nighttime. And then the boss should absolutely crumble. Please tell me I reset it tonight. I did. Okay. Let's get cracking. So the death bird uses death or black flame in order to attack. It flies. It carries around this giant scythe or crowbar. And on that scythe or crowbar, we pretty much... I think it's magic damage and fire... No, it's fire damage, but there's also a chance for frostbite and death blight on that, on the death bright birds or death birds attacks. So, and it'll fly around sometimes, just like a dragon does. So, just be careful and you'll be fine. And of course, we should clear out our combat arena before we actually fight the bird, or we're gonna have a problem. So, do you see that ramp there? That old ruined precipice? If we stand on that, we are going to trigger the Deathrite bird. I don't recommend it. Incidentally, we've never gone this way before, so there is actually a collectible we can grab while we're here, and we should do that. Most of the time, these cracked saint statues are going to carry the promise of materials, like these smithing stones. Lucky hits, I like those. And I think we triggered another giant just now. Or troll. I keep wanting to call them giants, but they're not. They're trolls. Nice, nice. I love it when I miss the read. Gonna go right behind him and then grab the nice, excellent. We only need to clear out a couple more giants, and I realize it seems, you know, excessive that we do this. But the Deathbird is best fought on Torrent, believe it or not. Like, you can fight them on foot, but we're going to have a bad time if we don't have a clear field. We'll pull extra things in the Deathbird fight, and not that we can't, you know, deal with those extra things. It's just easier if we don't have to worry about that. Look out. I also don't like going into these fights without full flasks either, but it can't be helped. Look, I'm gonna keep throwing dirt in your eyes if it means getting a leg up on the competition. In Elden Ring, you need to take advantage of all the resources you can. Don't ever be guilt-tripped into feeling less than, because LOL, I didn't use strength build. No. Elden Ring's gonna punish you for that and not using your resources. Like, you use the strength builds because you want a challenge, not because you know, that's the only way to play. I'm glad that that sentiment is getting bled out of the community slowly over time. It does take effort to do that. There's quite a bit of elitism in the Dark Souls community. And it didn't leave when Sekiro or Bloodborne was minted. Those communities also had their own gatekeepers. And gatekeeping is never good for a community. The LGBT community, same way. Although a game and like a social group are two different things, and I am perfectly aware of those things, but the gatekeeping part is universal. Gatekeeping is harmful. It has a lot of negative effects. Yep, here's the Deathrite bird. I might be able to pull this giant away from the death bird and deal with it. We'll see. We'll see. You just keep leaving your head so exposed. Like taking candy from babes. Alright, I think I've more or less prefaced how the death birds work. The Deathrite birds are the upgraded versions, but it is more or less the same. You just gotta mind... You gotta mind the spacing on them. I'll fight them on foot to demonstrate how you can fight them on foot, but generally it's not a good idea. Really? Oh yeah, and you notice that damage took like a sixth of its health bar, which is amazing. And you're getting to see that they have 3-hit combos. They do have follow-ups. And sometimes even their single-hit combo has a follow-up as well. I am getting cornered here. Oh yeah, do not let them build up Deathblight on you. Deathblight will steal your runes from you before you die. It's the worst, in my opinion, it's like the worst effect you can have in the whole game. Deathblight did not do that, but it is still still insta-kill. Kurnifer made this one absolutely evil. And these things are not jokes. These things are not jokes at all. Don't let the fact that I took off a sixth of its health, or like an eighth of their health per litany, fool you. These things are difficult, and the Deathrite birds will prove me right when we fight the next ones. We're gonna head back over to the War Master's shack. And we're going to prepare new spells. So, using our lovely boss resistance sheet, thanks again to all of the folks who've put that together. It's great. Like, you guys do fantastic work. So, Bell-Bearing Hunter / Elimer, we'll get to him later, has a poise of 75, a defense of 25. They are 10% weak to pierce. They are 15% weak to lightning. Let me highlight the row here. We don't have anything that deals damage of those types that we can cast. Now, for resistances, they're weak to sleep, poison, and scarlet rot, and are resistant to madness, frostbite, blood loss, and death blight. So, because they are weak to pierce, and we don't really have a good spell like capacity for inflicting those sorts of statuses yet, we're going to return once again to the fortune of the ranger, and we're going to have to use our bow for this. But that's fine. That is absolutely fine. We care more about the status than anything else. We might be able to poison them more readily in order to bleed them out, because poison in this mod reduces status resistance. I think I've already said this, but it bears mentioning again that it stacks. So the more you poison them, the more their resistances are going to drop. As their resistances continue to rise, due to being afflicted by poison multiple times. 10k. We need to level up our physical scores and or vigor, endurance, mind. We need to bulk those up to at least 18. We're still going to be squishy, but at the very least we're going to have decent armor. We're going to have decent armor's compensation for that. And I have a lot I need to say about the Bellbearer, because once we start fighting, I'm really not going to be able to do anything else. With the Bell-Bearing Hunter, the Bell-Bearing Hunter is... There are a lot of attacks it has. Bell-Bearing Hunter is a sword and board user with shield bashes and all that other lovely stuff, shoulder tackles, you name it. But their sword is enchanted. So when they're up close, it behaves like a bastard sword. When they're far away, they can actually swing it as though it were a close-range weapon. Meaning, And they could return it back and thrust it forward. They could toss it. All that fun stuff. Which means... I don't want to be making these. I want to make 2 of these. Which means... you have to treat them like a player. You have to space out their attacks. While also getting close as needed. Now, to trigger... let's see. Before I begin, is it night? It's about to be late night, so let's reset it back. Let's see. Past time until nightfall. And then I don't know if you have to buy.
There you are.
I don't recall having to buy battle arts from Bernal, but maybe you do.
Well,
Let's buy one and then reset. Because I know that the bell-bearing hunter is supposed to be here. Yep, there we are. So the game has a fail-safe in case you've never met Bernal or never bought anything from him before. Alright, I will see you guys on the other side. I made that look easy, but that is because we used the right stuff, so it was a non-problem. When you don't use the right stuff, or you forcefully try to use strategies and even synergies that don't work, you end up with a very frustrating fight. And in vanilla, the Bellbrier's defenses are very overtuned. It's not so much in the first one, But from the second one onward, and even in ERR early on, his defenses were super overtuned. Um, just, we had no good options for Bellbearer at this point in the game. We were basically kind of stuck. We had to come back way later than is actually reasonably necessary. Alright, so with this setup, we might as well stay using the ranger stuff right now, just because we don't have any better alternatives right now. Or we might as well wait. We might as well keep using what we know works. And change if we need it. So, next up on our list is the Castlemore Rampart. We have another boss we have another Knights Cavalry we can go kill. And let's top off our arrows and craft some for when we know we'll need them. And let's get to work. Last time, same as the first, but instead of a halberd, the Knights Cavalry here uses a flail. And the flails inflict bleed, so they're more deadly. They won't all have flails, but the ones that are flails really suck. For that express reason. Otherwise, all the movesets are the same. Everything else is basically the same. And at this point, there's nothing left to do but fight. Really? I did not intend to fire that, but whatever. Could be worse. Alright, and now we fire. What a rare joy. We got to take him off his horse and beat him while he was off the horse. And our reward is good. For this particular one, we pick up a flail. I used to like using this flail. And the barricade shield, I believe, is the other item we managed to get off of that. Yep, barricade shield. The following grants no affinity to an armament, but imparts the following skill. Barricade shield. Skill made famous by Sir Neidhart, or Neidhart. Focus your energy into the shield, temporarily hardening it to deflect greater blows. Usable on all shields. I believe this lets you get better stability temporarily. Like, more drastically for the next strike that would attack you. If we were using the Paladin Fortune, we would want that. We're going to go ahead and keep crafting these hard runes, because I don't want to spend them or lose them and constantly be in a bidding war to try to get them back. Now, we can go ahead and cross that off of our list. That takes care of all the nighttime bosses that we have to fight. The rest of these can be done in the morning, or whenever, really. And we should probably do that right now. Trying to think of the best way to go about fighting the ancient hero of Zamor, excuse me. We don't really have great spells we could use. We do have a few fire spells to choose from, and referring back to our document here, if we look at the ancient hero of Zamor, they are weak to fire or lightning. Cool, good. And they are incredibly prone to sleep and madness. It could be worth it to try to inflict madness on them. We would still need to more or less inflict some other status first. But we should be willing to try. We do have... we're better casters than we are archers. Because our dexterity is so small that it's very small. But we might as well try. And if necessary, I'll switch to a ranger and we'll figure out what we need to do from there. But thankfully... Whoops, we might as well make sure we have both of our generators on there. And we might get a moment to heal. So we might as well pack a heal just in case. Just in case. Better to be prepared than not prepared, right? Alright, let's go try to take down a hero, huh? How's everyone liking Elden Ring so far? Well, okay, Elden Ring Reforged. Let me get more specific. How are people liking it so far? Granted, I don't think I've shown anything that is really worthy of not just being Elden Ring, but with LOL with mods. But the fact that we had the availability of classes to choose from to make our stats better or help us in particular areas that we know we're going to need to excel in should be a bonus. It should be very easy proof that the mod does something, and it's not just, oh, I can duck and deflect now. Congratulations. You know, you just clamored for 2 standalone mod packages. No. It does so much more. And I'm grateful to Kernifer for having designed Elden Ring Reforged. I get a lot of enjoyment out of playing the game. I really do. That didn't take long. That did not take long. That's okay. We've got the stake now. We can go back. Actually, the Ancient Hero of Zamor might be one of my tougher matchups, just in general, especially with the way it is right now. No, I think no matter which approach I use, I'm gonna be in for a world of hurt. We've already seen what this guy can do as well, so it's not like I have any additional insightful commentary about it. It really is just, you know, fight the boss until you kill it. Alright, there's the madness. That... condemnable rock got... But I don't like to stay in a, I don't like backing... I don't like moving in circles in here, but it can't be helped. Can't be helped. But the madness did work. It did proc. We know it did something. I'm just not very good at using, the up-close generator. If I could use it, I would be better suited to, for the boss. Also, with the Ancient Hero, you just have to get good at the timings. Like, the roll recovery is such that I really don't get a whole bunch of reaction time for some of those moves. Rolling too early there. Too early again. Too early. I've really got to stop rolling so early. Are they healing? What? Okay, well, I learned. I learned something new. Something I didn't think they were capable of. And I thought I had seen it all. They healed. And I didn't know they... Either that's vanilla, and it became much, much better here, or that was something that was added here, and it is insidious. I don't know which one's worse. Yeah, I'm terrible. I'm rolling like the typical Dark Souls noob. I'm really not waiting until the last possible moment to roll on some of these attacks. Not going to be able to cast that spell right now. And especially not with reaction times like that. too early. Okay, that is not what you do. Just check and make sure. Yeah, that is not what we do at all. Does that... I could check the change log to see if there's something there. Let me look into this. I know the boss's weakness, but that does nothing for its behavior. Ancient hero, where do I see him? Okay. Just speed tracking, all the usuals. Nothing in terms of behavior. Like, I imagine if I were fighting like Shura mode or something, Ancient Hero, it would be a lot more difficult. But all I have is normal. And so other than the basic changes, there's nothing. What a waste. I'm going to wait for that to die down. And charging up the Flame of Frenzy is actually useless for the opener. There's nothing to be done there. Can't mash defensive actions, they don't chain into each other. Itchy. I cannot concentrate while my arm is itching like this. too early. Also, because I'm rolling early, I'm not forcing a change in their behavior. I'm trying to adapt my behavior to them. So maybe it might be worth it to roll into some of those attacks. I think I might have discussed that the last time we fought them, but to no avail. See, we are, I think, just about, yeah, we're a little over 1.5 hours. I'll give this another attempt and then I'll take a break and change out my coffee for tea. Now we know what the struggle bus looks like. It's this. Don't worry. This is just training for the later portions of the game where we will see some of these bosses again. Why did I think that was a good idea? I thought that was a fantastic idea. I love it. I love that. Complete miscalculation. Total misplay. Well, I was doing so well until I became a little nublet. Oh well. I'll try to clear my head and come back in about 10 minutes. Alright. If you guys like this content already and you haven't done so, feel free to shoot me a follow. Lets me know you like it. And I could keep doing this sort of thing. Don't want to shill too much. But I will say, if you want to support me further, then there are the donations and the coffee link. The coffee link underneath the donations tab. If you want fanfare-free frills, then and try saying that 5 times fast. Then just use the coffee link. It's perfect for lurkers. Absolutely fantastic. But if you want the fanfare and the noise, and I do have some lovely little alerts for any additional support you give. Of course, all support is appreciated, and no financial support is required. You always have your other choice of links. I take PayPal. I also take I also take Streamlat or Stream Elements, excuse me. Both of those have links set up for that. Other than that, we're going to take an intermission. I typically take one at the halfway point for streams. Usually be 2 hours today, but alas, life happened, and I have to cut it short, start the intermission sooner than expected. Feel free to get drinks, snacks, stretch, cuddle your loved ones, tell them you love them, all that fun stuff. Even take a small 5-minute jaunt around the neighborhood. All of that would be perfect for an intermission. And with that, I will see you guys in 10 minutes. Take care. I am back, and I do apologize for that. I think I took a little longer than 10 minutes. My apologies. Did everyone enjoy their intermission? I hope so. I don't usually stream at this time, so my schedule gets to come into conflict with that of my folks that I stay with. And because it comes into conflict at a time where I don't normally expect, I don't get to share dinner with them. I don't get to enjoy good barbecue. None of that. But I'm determined not to miss consecutive streams if I can help it. And they understand that. But it does feel cold and lonely to know that we're so locked into our routines now that it's hard to socialize without a pretext. It's getting worse. Might as well wait. That could have been deadly. That was really mean. The AI took advantage of the environment like I did. Yay. Yeah, heal is less than useful here. You're gonna need to use this imp statue. Oh. Itchiness everywhere. I pressed B there. They have very fast follow-ups. Too early. Don't even bother. Don't even bother. Wait for the next opening. Just wait. Really? The double? You got me on a double. Excellent. Excellent. Yeah, this is going to be a major source of bottlenecking. The ancient heroes of Zamor, Zamor. Zamor. One word, like hammer. And I can't believe I went through there without... Oh, well, luckily it's available in the Everjail as well. I don't know. Feel like I'm gonna have to use a different spell. too early. Too early. I cannot be making dodges like that. Yeah, the trick with Zamor is sometimes you gotta roll in. You have to get close, make them create space, which they will do through predictable, slow attacks. Because the ancient hero really only has a couple of good ones to use for it. The best one is their spinning move. That comes out pretty fast. That explosion has predictable timing. Well, that pulse has predictable timing. Changing spells is not ever a good profession to be in. Ah. I am pressing these buttons, you know. I don't know. I don't feel like I'm hitting like I'm weak. I just feel like I'm getting the short end of the stick, and to make matters worse, I'm not playing right. Not playing well. This one's tough. I don't like it. Two of those pulses and I'm dead. Well, not dead. Frostbite. Getting better. Getting better. Look, this is what those hitless challenge runners go through, where they have long periods of silence, focusing on the fight. This is exactly like that, only I'm really small, and probably can't afford the gap in the speech time, but what else is there to do? I don't have much else I can do, except to keep it moving. Might have to come back later. That is going to be a nice long wait while I wait for that to die down. So, this is probably one of those bosses that I wouldn't recommend fighting at this stage of the game. Like, even if you were a more focused build than mine. Even if you were a more focused build than mine, I wouldn't recommend it. Or, you know, your skill has to outweigh the disparate natures of your stats versus the boss's stats. If you can't do that, then you should just wait. Of course you would wait for me to charge it. I was getting better there as well. It's a tricky fight. I know, I keep saying the same things over and over, but honestly, I don't have anything else inventive to say or talk about. And I could talk about real life, but then I would need to stop and continue talking about real life. But I want to get this down. I want to get this boss defeated. I want to see it defeated. I don't want to have to come back to this over and over and over and over. I want to get it done. And that means being focused. Of course, don't drive yourself insane trying to do something you can't do, but I know I have the skill set for this. I know I have what it takes. I just have to play correctly. And that's hard to do. But that's why you're here. We're here for the good times and the bad times. We're here in prosperity and adversity. And both of them are on the opposite sides of the same coin. A same coin of outcomes. And the only way we get that coin to flip from adversity to prosperity is through hard work. And that means putting your nose to the grindstone. That's what we're here for. If you find other bosses in Elden Ring, no matter what form they take, you need to be prepared to sit down with them, really learn them, understand them, understand their strengths and limitations, understand your strengths and your limitations in regard to that boss, and then only then, through that, a bit of luck and a lot of practice, will you be able to clear some of these bosses. And what that difficult boss looks like will be different for everyone. I'm sure there are some people probably laughing inside of their headspaces and their mind palaces, wondering or saying to themselves, wow, such ineptitude. At least this boss has X or Y going for them or going against them. And this boss is much more objectively difficult. And to that, I'd say, of course they're more objectively difficult. But that's not where the adversity is there? Plus, I have difficult... When I was playing Dark Souls 3, I had difficulty with Aldrich. I had difficulty with Dancer. I had difficulty with some really easy bosses. Or what people would consider easy or workable bosses with consistent strategies. Still had trouble. Slave Knight Gale, the final boss of the Ringed City DLC out of Dark Souls 3. Yeah, it took me some time to get the dodge patterns right, but Gale had a pattern. He was predictable. He was difficult. Even Nadir had patterns. They were hard, but I knew what to look for, and they eventually became manageable. Whereas Dancer never really progressed past difficult. Dancer never moved to manageable for me. Always remember, the reason that Dark Souls 3 or Dark Souls elitism in general exists is because everybody has shared difficulty. That everybody might find different things difficult, but in the end, when you use the same builds because friends tell you they work, because strangers tell you they work, when you stick to the tried, tested, true strategies, then where the adversity is shared, and therefore the game starts to fall into tropes. When you don't take the same path, and your adversity is different, when you're different, then people can be scared or otherwise xenophobic of that. Period. End of subject. It's up to you to fight that expectation. It's up to you to go through your own adversity if it isn't shared. Other people might help, but you are responsible for your own demons. You are responsible for actually engaging in the fight. All people can do is prep the ring for you. And then after that, the fight is yours. To win or lose. To live by the sword or die by it. Your choice. As long as the choice is in your hands. I've ambled enough. Let us resume. too early. I'm panicking. Doesn't look like it, but I am internally panicking during those moments. Almost had him. I basically fight... This fight is basically almost 2 health bars. Almost. Thing is, I'm not really sure Flame of Frenzy or Dragonfire or Urgent Heal are particularly worth it. Because I'm locked in place for entirely too long to make it work. I just keep losing flasks before that point. That's the real problem. I keep losing flasks before that point. I'm gonna clean up the spell list a little bit. I don't think the certain spells in this pool are not really showing themselves to be worth at all. Plus, with the way that I'm sort of going about this, the less spells I have to cycle through, the better off we'll be. Also need to clean up the inventory a bit. Usually I can cycle through menus or cycle through inventory without a real big fuss. I just could not do that anymore. I'm trying to optimize my spell loadouts. I don't always do that first. I try to work within the arrangements I have. But sometimes that just doesn't work, and you've got to change things up. These are really the only 3 spells I cycle through, and there's no reason to have any others. Healing is nice when I can reliably dodge, but unfortunately, given how this controller sometimes eats inputs, it seems like, I'm finding that it is probably better to take out the middleman wherever I can help it. Got Mantis. It's dangerous, back off early. Oh, that's mean. I didn't bother healing because it wouldn't have made much difference. It wouldn't have made much difference. Like, yeah, I could be alive, but I would constantly be behind. And there really isn't any point in that. Also, it seems like I'm no longer getting procs from the Warlock Fortune, which may mean it's time to, like, move on to a different Fortune, or just a different method of attack altogether. Too early. Didn't matter. Better. Those are better results. I'm pretty happy with progress. With that progress. But it's not enough. I'd like to win today. Granted, we've been winning a lot. Well, I say a lot, I mean like 4 bosses worth of winning, but I'd like to win this one. But it's only gonna come, like, victory will only come when I desire nothing, fear nothing, am ashamed by nothing, or angered by nothing. When I have complete clarity, only then will I be able to achieve victory. And before I do, I shall take a sip of tea. Okay. Let's try this again. In the words of the purple Teletubby, again, 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 again. That contemptible rock. Almost. Almost. But I can't let down my guard. Teeth clenched, knees locked. No, locking your knees will make you pass out. Don't do that. But teeth locked, brow furrowed, focus, readied. And the worm tumbling above us, the guardian worms. I didn't bother healing there. You really only get very specific moments during that hero fight to take care of business or you have a problem. We're getting there. We've got a winning strategy. Well, maybe I shouldn't say a winning strategy. I should say a persistent strategy. The Flame of Frenzy proccing is our bit of luck. Gotta try to make them mad while we can. Oh, that wasn't good. That's my biggest flaw, is those jump attacks are... They're fast, which makes me think I have to dodge fast, but I don't. I need to wait and try to dodge behind. That's probably my critical flaw. If I could master that, then I think I have the winning strategy here. That's the hard part. And also, you know, not having to spend a flask on your own madness probably helps. Die! And boy, was that reward worth it. If you want to maximize your builds, and Radagon's Source Seal admittedly is not the best. Not the best one we could have been fighting for. But hey, I mean, if we're using ranger builds, it could be in handy. The Scar Seal is an eye engraved with an Elden rune. And if you guys remember the latticing from the Church of Pilgrimage, you'll recognize it immediately. It's how you know it's his rune. Said to be the seal of King Consort Radagon. Raises vigor, endurance, strength, and dexterity, but increases damage taken. These are your clutch rings and stuff from Dark Souls. These seals represent the lifelong duty of those chosen by the gods. Oh boy. Oh, I'm glad to have that behind me. I really am. I do feel euphoric, but I am still a restrained person. I'm not normally jubilant. Or, I try not to be those extreme things on camera. And I know, it dehumanizes me, as what it really does. But I do feel happy. I do feel some euphoric sensations because I was able to do that. But hopefully everyone else gets to enjoy that as well. When you fight a boss and it is hard won, savor it. Knowing that what'll be coming up will be yet another greater challenge. Another notch under your belt, as it were. Our next target is Crucible Knight. I doubt we're going to get to him within 6 minutes. So instead, what we should actually do is, instead of saying our next target is Crucible Knight, our next target is actually that dumb PvE NPC invader, Albrick. Now, I don't know. I'll put a brick on his face. Albrick. Never mind. Like before, he is generally vulnerable to fire spells, so we're going to pretty much keep the same loadout. The only difference is we'll have a little more time to get the Flame of Frenzy rolling. We do have our solid runes, which we are now going to use. We might as well buff or increase our mind next. And increase the staff. Glintstone staff +5. And finger seal +4, I think. Yeah, +4. With that, I think we have maybe one attempt. I'm kind of winded, if I'm being honest. Just a little. Just a little. I do feel good about that. I really do. But that's enough of the euphoric feeling. Time to focus for at least the next 4 minutes. And we could still make these runes. We could still get approximately half our hard runes back. I'll try to make this attempt count. Let's see how you handle the Flame of Frenzy, huh? Maybe we could get the Cypherpata if I manage to win in 4 minutes. I mean, of course I'm not going to stop in 4 minutes. I've made the attempt now. Close. Close. Alright. Well. Alright, I guess I'll give it one more go. Besides, I was late, technically. So I want to give you guys a little, you know, bang for your buck. But then after this, I do seriously have to turn it over. It is already 8:30, which essentially means I'm already behind schedule everywhere else in my life. But you're worth it. Too early. Yeah, I can't. That was a really good attempt, though. Alright. I know what I'm doing for Wednesday. I know what we're doing Wednesday. And then we've got a couple of places we can go to sort of round off the journey before going into Stormvale Castle. I do eventually want to get us out of Limgrave, but that does require effort. I want to take us a specific place, go a specific way, so that you guys can see everything. I hope you guys like this content. I know it was silent, stressful, but I hope you got to see some of what I'm capable of. I know I don't exactly exude skill, but I do like to think I have some when I'm not reading chat, which is basically what's going on. Today was good overall. Wednesday will be more of this. Let's go see if we can find someone to raid, or host, shall we? Thank you guys so much for, hopping on and stopping by the stream. I really appreciate it. It means a lot, even if you're lurking, especially if you're lurking, because I know audio is like one of the most important things you could ask for out of a stream, period. If you guys like the content in any capacity, please leave me a follow. It's one of the best ways you can help me out for free. Because increasing my follows will increase my visibility overall and will make me that much more accessible to you or your friends. If you could spread the word, that's another great way you could help out for free. It costs you nothing. And of course, financial support will never be required. But if you do like the content enough to support me in that way, please, I encourage you to check out one of the fine links I have set up, Coffee, or Stream Elements, or whatever. It's all in the donation tab, all in a nice, easy place where you can access it. I know I'm umming a lot. I'll have to try to work on that. There it is again. That deadly filler. You never know how it's going to leave your mouth until you suddenly struggle for things to say. Apart from all the excessive shilling, I really do appreciate it. And it's nice to be back doing this again. Dagnabbit. Yeah, I suppose I'll sign off from here. Stay safe out there, guys. It's dangerous. And you're always welcome in our hallowed halls. In these hallowed halls that we make ourselves. And with that, I will see you guys on Wednesday at a hopefully normal time this time. I really do apologize for today. Today was strange. But I'd like to think we navigated it. And with that, I'll turn you guys over to Bob Ross, our usual hostee, when it is the end of stream, and it's on a weekend. And with that, I will catch you guys later. Take care, and bye-bye.